on the agenda is public hearing special use permit. The Lee County Board of Supervisors and Lee County Planning Commission will hold a joint public hearing on Tuesday, March 19, 2024 at 6 p.m. General District Courtroom of the Lee County Courthouse located in Jonesville, Virginia to solicit input on special use permit request. Sonny Brooks has applied for a special use permit to establish multifamily dwelling units limited to no more than 8 units per structure in an existing structure in the B12 General Business District. The property consists of approximately 0.5 acres of land and is located at 1637 Dr. Thomas Walker Road in Ewing, Virginia, tax parcel number 63A-5-BKA Lot E. Anybody here to speak on that matter?
You want to give an overview of it? Give us some information on what the planning commission is.
So, as y'all are aware, the planning commission initiated a zoning text amendment to make this an allowed use by a special use permit. The planning commission voted to make that recommendation. You all voted to approve to make that special use allowed use in that district. So now Mr. Brooks has asked for the special use permit to allow that. Again, that's what he's looking at doing, is using an existing building, but it's in the western end of the county where we see a need for housing with the LMU campus. So he's just looking to convert what used to be a business and an upstairs into apartment units for rental.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you. Make a motion
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
to. Second. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I wasn't thinking, we're in a joint public hearing. I got caught up just in the process. We need to wait till the planning commission takes action on this. They'll adjourn and take the matter up and come back with a recommendation.
Okay, that's my mistake. I understand. I thought he said that they had been taking action. I'm sorry. Okay. So we just rescind the motion.
Yes.
I'm confused.
It's a joint public
They
hearing.
got to officially vote on it first.
Oh,
It'll be approved. It's just gonna take a little longer.
they're here? Yes.
All right.
I got confused. That's not hard to do for me, so.
Next on the list is Lee County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, March 19, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the General District Courtroom of the Lee County Courthouse located in Jonesville, Virginia, to solicit input on rezoning request. Douglas Hill has requested to rezone property that is currently zoned R1, single family residential, to A1 agriculture. Property consists of approximately 26 plus minus acres of land and is located on Barnes Drive in the Ewing community on the north and south side of Haynes Road, tax parcel number 80-10-.2, 3, 4, and .5.
Mr. Chairman, since Mr. Carter had to leave with the planning commission, Mr. Hill is asking, he has about a 26-acre parcel there. A portion of it is zoned A1, and the front portion, the front portion that joins Wilderness Road is zoned R1. He's asking that it all be zoned A1. That's the request. Not sure if there's anyone here to comment on it or not. So.
Anybody here to comment on that?
Does anyone know what the future land use is going to be as he states in here?
Anything allowed in A1?
Didn't know if you had anything in mind or what?
Hey, would you like, Mr. Hill, would you like to come up?
I think the rentals is what you have to rent.
Just kind of give him an overview of what his question was.
I just wanted to have it redone, probably put some rentals in there.
Okay.
That's it.
So Mr. Posey, are they meeting about that too in there?
No,
Do we need to vote on
no.
it?
This one is eligible to be voted on. This is the final hearing.
Any questions?
They've already
Just-
put their,
Yes, they
blessing on it.
recommended
Yeah.
approval.
They recommend approval, I'll make the
Yeah.
motion then.
Okay, got a motion, got a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for coming up.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we got departmental reports. Anybody have any questions, concerns from the reports, Lee County Social Services Works Program?
Mr. Chairman, may I speak? I'm Michelle Briggs. I was asked to be here on behalf of the Department of Social Services. I think you all had some questions. I know you were notified last month's meeting by Nathan Cope that we had a deficiency overall in our account. And I'm here to explain what happened, if you would like to hear it. If not, I'll answer any questions that you have.
Well, yeah, I'm sure, we'd all like to hear it.
Okay. As you all know, and I'm sorry I haven't met most of you, but the Lee County Department of Social Services is funded primarily 85% by state funds and approximately 15% by local funds. And the way that our budget works is we expend the money and then we are paid back for that in the next month. So our December 2023 bills would have been, we would have requested reimbursement for that in January, I think it was January the 10th on 2024. Normally that would have happened and we would have been paid by the end of that month, which was about $700,000. We had a technical issue with the billing software that we use. It's called Thomas Brothers. And we had some problems. It was not our fault. It was something that has been fixed, but there's only a short period of time where we can submit those reimbursement requests to the state, and then those are paid. Those payments have, I'm sorry, sir.
Slow down a second, if you don't mind, so we can ask some questions.
Yes, sir.
So, in the meantime, couldn't we have been notified that there was gonna be, was there any reason that, say, the treasurer's office?
Well, I was not aware, I thought there was sufficient funds. When I had checked the bank account last, there was sufficient funds. Mr. Cope notified me about at the same time that he notified you all. We do not have real-time access to our funds by electronic banking. I have to actually call. We get the bank statements after the fact.
But you could call and get those,
Yes, I could, and I did.
rather than assume.
Correct. And that was my fault. I have no problem admitting that at all. But we believed that we had plenty of money. I had spoken with our office manager, Tracy Reese. It appeared that we had sufficient funds. That obviously was not. So it ended up being the end of February, February 29th. We got full reimbursement, which would have been for December and January, and that was approximately $1.4 million of reimbursement.
I'm new here trying to.
I'm sorry.
Stay on top.
I know I'm probably talking real
Is
fast.
this the first time that's ever happened?
No. It happened about this time last year, and that was an issue with the December reimbursement. At that point, we had a new administrator. But we are always paid in arrears, so we have to expend the funds, and then we are paid back. So there's typically local money that covers that, but we got to the point in the year where the local funds, we're still local funds there, but that's what happened.
So you thought there was money there that wasn't there?
Well, I knew that we were going to have reimbursement. I did not know until after the fact that there was not sufficient funds to cover it until the end of that month.
I could understand if it was, $1,000, we was talking about $130,000.
Yes, sir. I know. We have a very large budget. Our expenditures that go through there are approximately $9 million a year. I believed it was done. It was an error. We're always paid in reimbursement, but I agree that it should not have happened, and we have taken steps to make sure it does not.
Okay, you got some more.
I was just going to explain, that's the reason we could not submit it, and we have been submitted. Our balance as of today is a $1.1 million, and we'll have another $700,000 that will be deposited on the 29th of March.
So has the county been paid back?
Yes, sir.
question?
Can you explain to us a little bit about this extra office space you've rented? Is it being occupied yet?
It is not being occupied yet. We have worked, we are in the process of Vita, which is the computer software people that do all of our IT stuff for the state. During the process, I'm waiting for them to tell us when they're coming. We should be in there, I believe, by the end of April.
So are you guys out of room in your building?
Yes, sir.
How can you go in that building when it's not handicapped accessible?
The bottom is handicap accessible.
Are you gonna occupy the top?
There will be some folks who have agreed to walk up the steps to do that, but we will not see clients in the upper part of the building.
So you're gonna see clients in the bottom part,
Yes,
the
sir.
street level or
The street
basement?
level.
Okay.
What about if there's a fire up there? How you gonna get them out? There's no fire escape, is there?
There is no fire escape, no, sir.
How are they supposed to get out?
Go down the stairs.
Does that not worry you?
Well, it's always concerning, but I have been told by the building inspector that it is not required.
What about Mr. Building Inspector?
I know I've spoken with a couple people about this building. I believe this is on the corner
Yes,
here.
sir.
Yes. So for office space, what you would have would be a maximum travel distance to your exit. And then you, for instance, in residential, you'd have what you consider emergency escape and rescue openings. For a commercial building, that's not necessarily the case. Based on the occupant load, would require how many exits and the travel distance to those exits.
But there's just one exit right down through the middle of it, correct?
As long as the occupant load is less than 50 people, you can have one exit.
I don't know if I'd want to put all my ducks in that one basket right there.
There's going to be a relatively small number of people. It's one unit that's going to be moved with one supervisor. Part of the rationale is, first of all, we are out of space, and secondly, part of what's going to go there is our view clients, and those are the people who are trying to get back on their feet and work, and that work program will be there on the street level.
And you said you're moving how many workers to that new facility?
At this point, there are 8 people who are going to move total. We have OEI, which is, they work with our people who have substance abuse issues. There's 3 of them. They're actually not DSS employees, but we have contracted with Together We Can as a 501c3. They will be there, our VIEW employee, and 4 people with APS.
Okay. And you've been inside this building yourself?
Yes, sir.
And what do you think of the conditions of that building?
I think it's fine. I think it needs to be cleaned, and we're going to have it commercially cleaned before anyone occupies, but I don't have any problems with it. I would work there.
Are you going to?
No, sir.
Well, it's come to our attention with some pictures that we received inside of that building.
Mhm.
From what I've seen, I wouldn't want to work in that building.
Well, I don't know when those photos were taken. There's been things that have been done, I don't know, again, I don't know when those photos were taken, but there has been work that's been done. And it's, again, not going to be cleaned until we're getting ready to be in there.
There is no space down there where you all can double up where you're at?
That is an option to double up, but our board chose not to do that.
Okay, what about your employees? What's their input on this, or do they have any input?
Well, of course they have input, but I mean, the decision was made by our board.
How many of your board is here tonight?
None of them.
None?
No, sir.
If you don't mind, could you step up here and let's look at a couple of things real quick?
Sure. Yes, that was there was some mildew in the basement. We put in dehumidifier in there, and that has largely been taken care of. I don't know when these were taken. I think this was taken several months ago.
looks to me as though the walls need replaced due to water damage. I mean,
Is there a test about the mold? I mean, who makes a recommendation if there's mold in there that it's safe to occupy?
As far as mold, there's nothing in our office. We're not certified to test or examine mold. That'd be a special inspection that you'd have to have someone come in and perform.
So you didn't want to look at the rest of these?
I'll be happy to look at any, I think I've seen those. Those were taken right when we originally took the space. Do you want me to take these with me, or?
No.
I've seen
no,
these.
Is that,
This was
and
done.
that's far more than cleaning issues, it appears to me.
Yeah, this is in the basement where there will be no one there. This is a storage is on the basement level of this building.
When are you going to start paying out money on this?
We've already been paying rent on it
For how long?
several months, I don't know exactly.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
You mean you're paying for something that you are getting no use out of?
We had a complaint that was made to the Department of Labor from, I'm assuming, one of the employees who's made complaints to you all. And so we've been in the process of having all of those issues addressed by the Department of Labor and OSHA.
Those pictures right there, we don't know who sent them. There's nobody.
I don't know who made the complaint either, sir, but, so we've been in the process of doing that, and checking the asbestos, all of that has been taken care of.
Mr. Muncy, I guess this other should be brought up in closed session. We discussed.
Do you know what he's referencing, Dave?
It'll be a contracting issue.
It could be, yes. That, I guess it could fall under that, if that's what you want to, if you want to do that in closed session, it could fall under contracts.
Okay. Any more questions?
How much a month are you paying for this building?
I believe it's $1,200 a month. It's approximately, I don't know the exact dollar figure off the top of my head, sir.
and how long have you say you've been making this payment?
I believe it was November.
You passed this in July, am I correct?
I think they authorized, I don't know exactly what month they voted to do. I believe that's approximately correct. But there were some modifications that had to be done to the building, so it was a period of time before we
If I
authorized.
could dig through this in time, I can tell you, I think it, and the rest of you guys remember, I think it was in July, am I correct?
July 20th, 2023 board meeting.
When y'all
Those are
passed.
the minutes I provided to Mr. Poe upon his request.
Okay, if there's no more questions on that, you said you had an issue to bring up in closed session.
Correct.
Anything else? Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, what about take a brief 2-minute recess here.
Why did we just, Mr. Gardner, in fact, I assume?
So we'll call the meeting back to order. Okay, let's get back to the special use permit. We have Mr. Clancy's gonna come up and tell us all about it.
Yes, the planning commission voted unanimously to recommend approval. Ron Bailey did note that there's been no complaints. We've received no complaints to our office as far as the request. They did vote unanimously for approval.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I say something as,
Well, not right now, you can't.
okay,
I'll let you know
okay,
though, we're still in business right here.
okay.
Yours will be next, public expression. But first of all, we gotta get through our departmental reports. We have any more questions or concerns with the departmental report before we move on?
This is a work program. Oh.
Okay. All right, we're open for public expression now. Come up front.
Of course, I'm Sonny Brooks. I sell real estate. And to the last issue that you were talking about, I'm selling a building, commercial building, that had some of the same issues that you were talking about. And we had to have a commercial inspection done to satisfy all the concerns that you've got about this building. I don't even know where it's at, don't care, it ain't even my business. But we had to go have a commercial inspection done. And it sounds like to me that this current commercial inspection needs to be done at the owner's expense. Because now there's different things on commercial things, Clint can tell you that. And when you're dealing, you all know more about it than I do, but I know what I'm dealing with right now, trying to sell this building. And it needs a commercial inspection, is what it sounds like to me. And that takes a special, not just a regular home inspection, it takes a commercial inspection. And to deal with the general public in and out, which is like, I'm dealing with a doctor's office, so it's similar to what you all are talking about. And they're going to require a commercial inspection because it's too touchy an issue. And I appreciate it, I don't mean to step on anybody's toes or anything, but I'm dealing with it right now, so I know what it is. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, here, then we'll move right along to approval of minutes. February the 8th, 2024 recess meeting and February 20th, 2024 regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
I see.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And next, we got payroll, county administrator reports that payroll warrants have been issued and approval of disbursements.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Got a
Chairman,
motion to
did
pay.
you have anything you want to bring up about the AT&T issues? Since those are included in there?
About the disbursement?
Yes. The AT&T MBOs are included for payment in there. I didn't know if you wanted to
Well,
hold that until, or ask to potentially hold that until they
well,
are
let me just
operational.
fill the board in on what you're referring to.
Okay.
They put those MBOs up approximately 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they're still not up and running. So I asked Mr. Poe if he would follow up with AT&T, and needless to say, they hadn't contacted us anything about them not being online yet, and their response was that they had some type of problem that they were going to address. It just so happened when Mr. Poe sent the email yesterday, just as you would expect, they got the notice yesterday morning, that they could go ahead and start their business to get that online. So I don't have a problem with going ahead and paying them. I have I have a bad taste in my mouth about it, knowing that they're not online yet, but I feel like that they will get them online, because they're,
Well, one of them won't be online for a while,
Right.
but that's on our end.
but
That's
just
due
the
to
two that we
internet
were concerned about, yeah.
Right. I just want to make sure you would ask, so I will make
Yeah.
sure you were satisfied.
Well, I was just needing some ammunition to fuss at them with, that's
Okay.
all I was asking.
Then I think you have a motion then.
Okay, got a motion to pay the bills, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next on delegations, I'll need a motion to amend the agenda to where we could have the opioid abatement authority funding application.
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so that's who's up.
I'm Sandy Odell, I'm the Executive Director for the Community Services Board that serves Lee Wise, Scott County, and the City of Norton. Mr. Chairman, board members, I appreciate you adding me to the agenda and allowing me to bring an application forward to you. The CSB is a code-mandated political subdivision of local governments, and PD1 again serves Lee, Scott, Wise, and Norton. By code, we're the single point of entry into the public behavioral health system for Virginia. It's no surprise that addiction to prescription opiate medications have impacted our communities in Planning District 1, in Lee County, in the state, and in the nation. As a result of the pharmaceutical mishandling of opiate medications, there have been a significant number of successful lawsuits across the nation against both the pharmaceutical companies and distributors of opiate-based medications. As a result of those successful lawsuits, Virginia has been awarded various settlement agreements, and as such, the General Assembly established in 2021, I believe it was done, the Opioid Abatement Authority that manages the funding that Virginia has received for opioid abatement in the state. In addition, localities receive distributions for opioid abatement. Last year, Lee, Scott, Wise County, and the City of Norton came together and submitted a cooperative partnership agreement to submit an application to the Opioid Abatement Authority to establish a substance use intensive outpatient program for adolescents. And initially, that program is going to operate in Big Stone Gap, with a second site coming to Lee County in the second or third year of that grant proposal. So we wanted to give you an update on that. We thought that that would be in operation by October, but we had a delay in engineering specs and a delay in renovations of a facility. So that project has now been delayed to June or July of this year, but we are ready once that facility is ready to open for the kids. Last year, when we submitted that application, we worked with stakeholders in the communities and with the county administrators and city council, city manager, to look at what would be the 3 or 4 projects in our region that we would want to apply for opioid abatement monies for. One of those was the adolescent intensive outpatient program that was funded. We talked about increasing the number of hours at the Crisis Intervention Center in Norton that accepts drop-offs from the law enforcement for people that are in crisis with either mental health or substance abuse. And we wanted to expand the hours of that site from 12 to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So in the meantime, we got funding from the Department of Behavioral Health for that, so we didn't need to do an application to the Opioid Abatement Authority. But the third project that we looked at doing was to establish recovery housing in the four localities for individuals who are in recovery from substance abuse but need a place to live that's clean, sober living, and in the communities where they can stay connected to families, find employment, get their lives together, and back with their families in the community. So we are proposing that we submit to the Opioid Abatement Authority an application for a recovery house, first in Gate City for men, and second in Lee County for women, and then back to Wise County for a house that we don't know whether it would be men or women yet. It would just depend on where we're at in the process with the one in Gate City and Lee County. So as such, the boards of supervisors would need to approve the application to go forward. Wise County has offered to be the fiscal agent for that, for the localities. And for that, the localities would need to do a match for that grant to the Opioid Abatement Authority. The Opioid Abatement Authority is holding money for each of the localities to use as match money. So it wouldn't come directly from Lee County, am I saying that right, Dane? Wouldn't come directly from Lee County, although it's assigned to Lee County and the other localities at the state level. But you would have to approve the Opioid Abatement Authority using your portion of that for the grant proposal.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
No, we have one operating over at Jasper right now that's operated by the churches.
Right.
Now, is that something that they can get help with from this opioid money? Because I'm sure it's a nonprofit thing over there.
It is nonprofit.
It seems like that would be a good place to.
And they could, in addition, ask for money for
Okay.
from the Opioid Abatement Authority.
Okay.
Again, like the Community Services Board or the Jasper Home could not ask for that money directly. It has to come from the localities that apply for that money. So,
would this as a board, could we direct money to the, recommend to that program over there? Because I am familiar with that over there.
Dave?
Sandy, where they're faith-based, is their program state approved or?
So for this money, faith-based services can apply for money from
Okay,
it.
okay. I didn't know if they had to be licensed under the state for the opioid funding, or if they were eligible for it without that. So
They would be.
If they are eligible, then yeah, that would be a good source. for
The
them.
gentleman that is over that, he has done these programs before, and he has, he's actually been, I think, in New York City doing, he's, I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but
You talking about Jack?
yes.
He was in the New England area. I don't know if he was in New York or not, but
Okay.
I think he did run a program in New England. And I can contact him and give him some information on it to see if he's interested.
I would like,
Sorry I got you sidetracked.
No, that's
It just
okay.
came to my mind.
That's all
you
right,
know.
that's a great question. So what we would be asking for is a 5-year funding proposal from the Opioid Abatement Authority. And then each of the localities would ask for their match portion of that from the Opioid Abatement Authority also. So I don't know if they have the slides in their package for that.
It came in
Okay.
after the agenda had gone out. I
Okay.
didn't know if you brought them with you or not.
So I brought one,
I
so
can run some more copies.
there's not, I can tell them what's on it, Dan, pretty quick.
Okay.
Now, just out of curiosity,
You want copies? Okay.
just out of curiosity, when you're talking about a site opening up to start with in Scott County or whatever the case, wherever the case is. Now, do you already look, you already know how much money is allotted to each county. So is that how it's gonna be based, or we're not gonna be putting out more than what we're allotted out of that abatement fund?
Yeah, Dane and the other county administrators are watching that pretty closely. So what we did was we looked at the total cost of that, and we were asking the counties for 20% of that. And Wise County has a larger portion of funding than Lee, Scott, or Norton. And so we asked in the grant application, what we would do is to apply a ratio to that money so that Wise County antes out more than Lee, Scott, or Norton.
Yeah,
In their,
based on population.
based on
Yeah.
population and some other factors like suicide rates and some other rates. The total that we would be asking Lee County's portion for over the course of 5 years would be $26,000, so it's not a lot of money. The opioid abatement authority would be, if they approve it, would be submitting about $537,000 over the course, $531, I'm sorry, over the course of the 5 years. Frontier Health and Planning District 1 Community Services Board are kicking in about that same amount of money. And Ballot Health has agreed to support $50,000 that first year to
And that's starting next year?
right, for FY '25 to furnish the house and to purchase a vehicle for it. And we would do the same when we started, like with the next house in Lee County. We would try to find somebody that would help furnish the house, put a vehicle there. The money that the Community Services Board and Frontier will put in will be for staffing, part of that home. The guys that will live there, we're looking at men, up to 14 of them in Scott County. And they'll be required to go to work. The Recovery Resources out of Tennessee has agreed to partner with us to operate it. And they have 11 of these homes in Tri-Cities, Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol area. They've worked with 434 individuals to date. 387 of those are now employed. 80 some of those have come off of probation. A number of people now have their driver's license back and have bought vehicles. So it's a great program. They've got a great track record. We're excited to work with them. We've located a first house in Gate City that looks like this. It's in a nice community in Gate City. So what we would need from the board is your approval to submit a joint application with the other counties, Wise County and Norton. Wise County and Scott County have approved. Some of us are at the Norton board tonight asking for approval for it. So it would be approval for the grant plus your match portion of that.
Do you have any figures on, I hate to be negative, but do you have any figures on the failure rate?
Well, opioid medications are probably one of the hardest things to get clean and stay clean. It's not quite as tough to get clean as it is to stay clean from that. So out of the 480 people that they've worked with, 387 are working now. So they are clean and sober enough to be able to work. That's a pretty hefty number there. In addition to housing, we're going to be providing mental health services, substance abuse services. We have a work program that will be involved in that. Each of the counties have work programs now that we'll link up to for employment for folks. So it's certainly not 100%. And over a period of years, it's not even 50%. But as I have said to people in my own family, if it's your son or your daughter or your neighbor, if there's only one, and that's your family member, that's the most important person that got clean and sober. So, but the odds are better than just one, just using that as an example.
Well, that's a pretty good percentage.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited about it.
Any more questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you. We'll keep you
Thank you.
posted. We'll be back.
Dana, do we need to go ahead and amend it to, since, take care of those here for the other thing? Does that need to go hand in hand?
His is a separate request. His is a request either for just a support resolution. If the county is interested in providing some contribution to it, they will accept that. But however you want to do it.
I mean, I didn't, since we were on the same subject, I thought it might be is that okay if you want to go ahead and do it?
I don't think Mr. McNaughton's presentation will take very long. If you want to go ahead and do the other one,
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Either one won't take long, I don't think.
Thanks. That was, we were talking about the same subject pretty much.
Yes, sir. And I'm on Miss Sandy's board too, so it's good to see. My name's Joey Carrick. I'm from Wise County. I'm the Director of Legal Aid, and some of you all may know about Legal Aid. We represent, we cover 17 counties in Southwest Virginia, and our office that covers Lee County is in Castleton. And then we have an office in Marion where our headquarters is. And then we have an office in Christiansburg too, in Montgomery County. So, but we have a large area. We have about 16 lawyers that serve on our law firm. And what this Project Pathfinder is, and I had been in communication with Mr. Poe about what we're wanting, and he's right. I'm not asking necessarily for the board's money, but now, because I don't want to be in competition with the PD1 board. I really don't. But what's more important is I would ask Lee County to support our application, which is a cooperative partnership grant too, just like what Ms. Odell was talking about with the PD1. And what this is legal aid. I've been wanting to try to get lawyers in our firm to help more people in recovery. And with things like getting their license back, and these are people who are in sustained recovery trying to get back on their feet. Sometimes we can file bankruptcies for them, and sometimes, their life's a mess financially because of their addiction. And so when the smoke clears and they're getting back on their feet, we want to help them do that. Sometimes they need a divorce. We do those for them. Sometimes they just need help with maybe some family visitation, child visitation or something like that. We help them get housing. We help expunge things they weren't convicted of, not convictions, you can't do that. But and that helps them remove a barrier to employment and remove a barrier to housing that they may run into, as you know. And I fully support what Sandy was talking about the recovery residents, because sometimes they need to get away from their old environment so that they can stay in sustained recovery. So, but I've been wanting legal aid since I've been the director for the last few years. I've been wanting us to help more people in recovery. I do help drug court members here in Lake County. I met with a few of those people just several weeks ago. We have Wise counties. We also do all throughout the 29th Circuit, which is Dickinson, Buchanan, Russell, and Tazewell County. And we help other drug courts around in our service area. So that's what this application is about. That's what Project Pathfinder is about. And so that we can get some money from the Opioid Authority, and I can hire lawyers to primarily do this kind of work. We do a lot of domestic violence work right now, but I want to try to shift to the recovery community, since there's lots of people who are going through our drug courts, lots of probationers who go back, get out of prison. Hopefully, they start off on the right foot. We can help them get some of their civil stuff corrected. We don't do criminal law. We don't do anything like that. So it's just civil law stuff. But if the board does have direct distribution opioid money left over after you looked at what PD1 needs, we would ask for that, anything like $5,000 to $10,000. The fact that you support our application is wonderful. Smith County is going to be our fiscal agent since our headquarters is there. We've had other counties sign on. Witt County, Tazewell County has signed on, Russell County, and I'm waiting to hear back from Montgomery County and Wise County too. So. But they said that if any of the counties will give you some of the direct distribution money that you have, that strengthens your application because they score it on a higher level now. So legal aid, we're going to put up $44,000 of our own money to add to the bottom line. So I can answer any questions.
Any questions?
I'd send a draft resolution for y'all.
I don't have it in the packet, but if you've seen it, it's got separated from it.
Okay, I can send it to you, Ken, if you need.
Okay.
Well, I sent two different versions. One is one just supporting the application, the other one is supporting the application. And if you wanted to allocate some money for it, that's fine.
You're just looking for just support right now, no money, just.
Yeah, I mean, I would like your all support no matter what, but again, if y'all can do $5,000 or $10,000 just to strengthen the application, that's wonderful. Russell County's giving us $10,000, Smith County's giving us $10,000, so. I've asked Wise County, I'm waiting for them to tell me. Hazel County's, their budget committee meets next week to think about it. Wise County's doing the same, so we'll see.
Okay, so you're gonna send Dane the
When's your deadline application?
April the 1st is our deadline. So if I can get it sometime next week, it'd be great to try to get it before the deadline. But, you know.
But you need the funding commitment prior to that too.
If you can just tell us that, that's all I need to put on the thing, and I'll have to have you sign something. The resolution has language in there so that it authorizes you to sign for it. But like Smith County's doing all the paperwork, and they do all that. You know Sean Hudd up there, I think, and he's the county administrator there, so.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next we got Creative Communities Partnership Grant, Mr. Michael McNulty.
Hi. Thanks for your time this evening. I'm Michael McNulty. I'm from the Pro Art Association. I know some of you know about us. For those of you who are new, Pro Art is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that serves Wise, Lee, and Dickinson counties, as well as the city of Norton. We basically bring arts programming, educational, and professional performances to our service region in the form of theater, dance, and music. And I'm here to ask you to continue your participation in the Creative Communities Partnership Grant, which is a state granting agency through the Virginia Commission for the Arts, in which they provide matching funds towards entities like ours that support the arts in our community. So we've been serving Lee County for a couple decades at least. Pro Art was started in 1976, so we're about to enter our 48th year. And the last few years we've been increasing our program in Lee County, which I think has been great. We do performances at Lehman Field, at the park, the Cumberland Bowl Park, the Lee Theater, and Lee High in the Slump Auditorium there. We also helped to renovate the Slump Auditorium, I think about 10 years ago, with new lighting and curtains. And so we also help to sort of advocate for arts, especially arts education in our communities. And so you've been participating in this program for a number of years. We're asking for level funding at $7,000. $3,500 of that would be matched by the Virginia Commission for the Arts if you apply for that program. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Anybody got any questions?
Have you done anything in District 1 of Lee County?
Tell me where District 1 is. I'm from Wise, so I'm not super educated.
You want money but don't know where District 1 is. I'm joking.
No, it's okay.
It's Thomas Walker area down on the far end of the county.
We haven't, but I have had a conversation with a teacher at Thomas Walker in the interest of trying to have something out there next year. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but I can provide that to you because I have it in my notes back in my office.
Carlin Park on that end, you got a national park on that end, there's several amphitheaters down there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Big
That'd be
county.
great. It's definitely something that we would like to do. Marshaling the resources is sort of the second step, but definitely be interested in it.
And the only other question I would have, and this pertains to all this, obviously, the budget, we budgeted for this already?
Well, we budgeted for what was in last year. This is for an application that's due April 1st. Then it's awarded for the 24-25.
But it's already been in the budget?
Yes.
Any more questions? Okay, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Next, we got Morgan Cemetery, Otis Catherine.
My name is Otis Catherine. Last month, my wife died, Evelyn Catherine. I'm buried her in Morgan Cemetery. She's a sister of one of your former board members, Robert Smith. About 15 years ago, we picked a plot in the cemetery there where we wanted to be buried. At this time, there was nothing around us outside the cemetery. During that time, certain people that own this property saw fit to move in junk cars. They're abandoned, and they're grown up in grass. And you know, when people bring their loved ones into the cemetery, they just don't like to see stuff like this. I mean, it's. I talked to the people that own these cars. I asked them if I had permission to move these cars. They would not give me permission. Then I asked them, I said, well, supposing that I buy these cars from you, they're junk, they're just sitting there. I'll buy them for you, and then I'll remove them at my expense. They wouldn't do it. I've been to their house. They live across from Super Dollar there in a trailer. They wouldn't even talk to me. They sent their daughter to the door, said they didn't want to talk to me. Why they didn't want to move these abandoned vehicles? I don't understand it, but I just don't think like our cemeteries should be subject to this type of stuff, you know. You know, I checked property through the county, made sure that the people I was talking to, that was their property, and it was. So I'm asking the board to adopt some kind of an ordinance that keeps these vehicles and all this other trash away from our cemeteries. Not only the cemeteries where I'm at, but all the other cemeteries in the county. And I really don't know what else to do. I mean, you know, I'm asking you for help on this, and if I don't get any help from you, then they can just bring as much as they want to in there. So I'm just asking you that these so many feet from the cemetery. Because like I said, you know, when these hearse drive up and get your loved ones out, you look over and you see these junk vehicles. So I'm just asking for your help in this. Give us some kind of ordinance that protect us. And like I said, not only this cemetery, but all the other cemeteries in the county. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Poe, is there any ordinance on that situation?
Not specifically to limiting what can be placed within so many feet of a cemetery. Do you access the cemetery across this property, or?
Yes, it's the junk cars are right beside the.
I think it's adjoining the property to the cemetery, right? It's adjoining property lines to the cemetery.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, we just have to check the state code and see what's allowed
I did contact the litter control officer, and he's gonna make a visit down there and get with you and look at it, and then recommend something.
That's
So
one.
he is coming to see you there, and I apologize for your wife passing away. I understand.
That it? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next we got quarterly appropriations.
And that's the resolution which will appropriate 1/4 of the budgets for Head Start, social services, and the school system. That'll finish up the final appropriation for this fiscal year.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion to approve, got a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we got supplemental appropriation.
We have 5. Most of those are being driven by reimbursements. One is donations, and one is a budget supplement from reserve in the solid waste. That's for, let's see, I'll have to look and see. That's on health insurance. That's due to changes in health insurance premiums or coverage by employees within the middle of the year.
Okay, motion to approve supplemental appropriation.
So, the health insurance for the county, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
It went up.
Well, the premiums didn't go up, but apparently the employees, we either miscalculated in doing the budget, or employees had a qualifying event and they made a change in coverage in mid-year.
I believe we hired 2 people probably since this was.
Okay, that's what's driving it then. We typically will probably budget for single, and if they come in and have family coverage, that drives it up considerably.
But the health coverage is going up, I'm sure.
Yes, that's on here too for next year.
Right.
Okay. Motion for supplemental appropriation. I'll make that motion. Got a second?
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we move to old business. First one's animal control truck.
The last month, the board asked us to look at the current 911/emergency management truck to be used for animal control. That truck has a short bed and the box will not fit in.
That answered that question. That's all we asked.
Come on.
Okay, you had the other ones out for bid.
No, we had taken bids for a new truck, and those actually came in, I think, in December. They've been kicked down the road since that time.
So now we need to make get new bids, or what?
Whatever you want to do, I don't know if we'll get a lot of change.
Was it budgeted for?
Yes.
Past bids should be good, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they were going to have to be ordered. They didn't have them on the lot, so they were going to have to be ordered.
You just gonna rebid them?
Whatever you all want to do.
They might come in cheaper.
About that.
The only other suggestion I would have is to turn Miss Carter loose and just let her see what she can find by searching and checking dealers, checking
That's a good
checking
idea.
internet, looking for basically the type vehicle that we were looking for to see what she can come up with.
That's a good
And
idea.
then we could compare that against the bids.
You need a motion for that, up to the dollar amount.
Consensus of the board would be fine. I mean, it wouldn't be that we'd be purchasing, we'd bring the prices back to you.
I say turn loose with it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me. Okay, next is the smart scale project, unpaved road.
Go ahead. I heard Mr. Wright leads with this one.
Ed, I want to say, I'm new at this, but the amount of help that you get in this building from people is extreme, and there's a lot of good people that work in this building that'll help you anytime you need a little bit of help. And the guy that printed these maps is one of them. I have maps for each of you. This is your district. I tried to blow these up big enough so that you can see it. That's actually Josh's. This one's yours. There's actually one for each of you. You'll look at those. Basically what you got is a map of just your district, and it shows each road. Each road is identified. What I tried to do was, and there was a lot of confusing information on this, what I tried to do was get the traffic count on each road. District 3 doesn't have a whole lot. If you've noticed that, there's just not a lot in that district. But the map will show you where those roads are, where your traffic counts are. It is a little confusing because some of them will be the way that VDOT handles these. There may be a section of road that is unpaved, and they have them classified in the traffic count as more than one section. So I tried to take a look at these and then decide how those sections were put, but I'm sure that you would know your district far better than I would to be able to decide where those are. So go over these maps. When are we going to have this back?
We'll have a public hearing probably in May.
Okay. So you can kind of go see where those are. If you got any questions about this at all, well, just give me a call, and we're more than happy to help out with that.
If you'll look at these and have recommendations on what you would like to see considered in your district by next month's meeting, we can get that information to VDOT. Or if you get it before then, let Mr. Wright or myself one know, and we can get the information to VDOT, and they can be looking at cost estimates on the segments that you're looking at.
Basically, you need us to prioritize, you want us to prioritize in each district.
Don't take it home and lose it, right?
Yeah, I do have a master map, so if something happens that you need something else, you can give a holler. But they'll do an excellent job putting all that on that map for me.
It looks like you've done a good job, appreciate it.
Thank you. It wasn't a sole effort, trust me. I just wanted to put that out there. I appreciate it, but it wasn't a sole effort.
Well, you gotta know who to reach out to get the job done. Okay, anybody got any questions on that before we move on? All right, next is Virginia probation parole RFP for office space.
We'll request that be taken up in closed session. It does deal with a competitive bid process.
Okay. Okay, next we'll move on to new business then. Unless there is some more business anybody's got that wasn't in there. Okay, next board appointments, building code of appeals, and I make a motion to table my appointment.
Take a second.
Okay, got a motion, did you second it?
Yeah, sure. Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we got the Southwest Regional Recreation Authority.
Mr. Chair, I got contacted by Miss Pam Fannin over this appointment. I would like to make a motion to appoint Miss Fannin. I worked with her for 4 years on the school board, great citizen. She worked pretty hard for us. I don't think Mr. Johnson's attended these meetings, from what I understand, so I would like to make a motion to appoint Pam Fannin.
I'll second that. Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we got the Upper Tennessee River Roundtable.
Make a motion, table.
Okay, I'll second that. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And next we got the Woodway Water.
I make a motion to reappoint Charles Coleman.
Okay, got a motion. I'll second that. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And Mr. Chairman, to clear up one from the last month, the road bureaus, I talked with the residency administrator for VDOT. They do not use that process anymore. He said they haven't used it in any of the counties. So there's no need to make any further appointments on that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, next on the headline is health insurance renewal.
You have a memo in your packet. We received our renewal rates. I sort of clued you in on this last month on the percentage increase. We're looking at about 8% increase on the premiums. Of course, we do have coverage through the local choice. It's a state-sponsored health benefits program. The actual coverage is with Anthem or Blue Cross Blue Shield. The county currently provides Key Advantage. We offer two plans, the Key Advantage Expanded, which is the top of the line coverage, Key Advantage 250, which is a lesser plan. The Key Advantage 250 is our base plan. If employees want to opt up to the expanded plan, they do that at their expense for the additional cost above what the county provides for the Key Advantage 250. The county currently pays 85% of the premium for single coverage, 75% of the premium for dual or family for the Key Advantage 250. Employees can also opt on whether to take full coverage or whether they take coverage with preventive dental only. Of course, all the plans come with medical, dental, and vision. And you can see the premiums. That's the total monthly premium for each of the plans, both of the plans that we offer and the single, dual, and family rates. We are required to notify local choice of our intent to renew coverage by April 1st.
And this is our cost per employee?
No, this is the total premium amount.
Okay.
The employees would pay their respective share of this.
So single right there, the 845, is that for what, single person for 1 month?
Yes, that's the total premium.
Okay. While we're asking money-wise, this is a little bit off the ball, sorry, but for each employee the county has, what is the pay package beside their wages? I mean, you know, the holidays, the insurance, how much is that per employee, roughly?
The RS, which is Virginia Retirement Employer Matching Portion, FICA, Social Security Matching Portion, state group life, the employee pays a portion, the county pays a portion. That's not a big amount, but, plus then we have, workers' compensation coverage, unemployment insurance, which is not that much. The health insurance is one of the biggest issues. Generally speaking, you can take the employee's salary and probably add somewhere between 35 and 40% to it for the total cost of each employee. Now but that can depend. Some employees don't carry health insurance. They may have a spouse who works and has coverage somewhere else and they don't carry that coverage. So I'm not saying that's true in every case, but as a general rule, you can add about 35 to 40% to it.
To that person's salary?
Yes. As a percentage of their salary, as the benefits. Now, holidays and vacation time, I mean, they're hired on a salary basis. So, employees.
I figured holiday time pay was part of that package.
Well, now, they get, you work at the transfer station. You all pick up some holiday comp time. We call it holiday time, but it's basically comp time when you work on holidays. That's just comp time. Employees at the courthouse do not work holidays, so they don't get comp time for that. They're just paid their normal salary for the time that they're off, just like you take your vacation time. Each employee's annual salary is divided by 24, and they get equal payments at the 15th and the end of the month. And then if they take time off in vacation time or sick leave, that record is kept in a separate file. They keep track of any accrued leave time. Holiday time is just considered as time worked, basically. But it's all, they don't earn anything extra unless they do work comp time, and we don't pay for comp time, we just give time off for that. So the salary amount remains the same.
So, one single employee is $845 a month, correct?
Yes.
And the county's paying 85% of that?
85% of that.
So how much did he go up this year?
Pardon?
So how much did he go up this year?
It was about a little over 8%. I don't remember the exact percentage, but a little over 8%.
Pretty good.
We've had some years where we didn't have an increase or had a lesser increase. Sometimes people see increases of 10 and 12%, but we haven't had any years like that recently.
That's a big percentage, I mean, for the employer to pay. That's a pretty good percentage, in my opinion.
But that there is the reason that you get employees, though.
In some cases, that's true. Well, that's how you keep them.
Well, if you need them, well, I better not. But anyway. I'd make a motion, we go with it.
Keep it the same percentages and everything.
The employees. I mean, we have to go with this if we're gonna offer this as a package to the employees.
Okay, you putting that out there as a motion?
Yes, sir.
What you're asking, Mr. Chairman, is we keep the percentages of the county paying
Yeah.
5%. That's what you're asking.
Yeah, if he, that's what he was, including
Or you
on
want
the
to
same
keep it the same percentage?
That's, the percentages stays the same, is what your motion is, right?
Well, then we just pass this, I mean, that,
Yeah, the county's gonna eat some, and the employee's gonna eat some, so the percentage stays the same. I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next got Public Works Department request for new equipment.
We've got a memo from Mr. Collinsworth, the Public Works Superintendent, requesting or regarding the need to purchase a new tractor. This was expected to be a budget request for next year, but mechanical failures has created a need to replace the machine sooner than expected. He's also, and there's a detail of what the failure was on the machine, and then he also provided a bid spec if purchasing a new tractor.
I'm sorry, I should have looked, but did we get a bid on repairing the one that we had?
I think he talked to John Carter about it, and he pretty much told him, I think, that he was wasting time to probably do that, but we could look at a repair. So.
And it's not budgeted this year to buy one?
No, it was not budgeted for this year. He was anticipating requesting one for next year.
If it's okay, I'll make a comment or two. The reasoning he is, the specs there is a cab tractor, is for us to help to use that to maintain spraying and maintaining the airport is the reasoning for that. I mean, I don't think anybody's wanting to be put out there with one of these foggers or misters or whatever in an open cab tractor. And that is one reason for is the cab tractor and an upgrade. And
Is that one you got now, is the one you currently have got a cab on?
No.
No.
Have y'all sprayed with that?
No. But Gary,
we're using contractors to spray, aren't we?
Well, we haven't had it sprayed.
But we
had
talked about it if we did.
We had it sprayed by helicopter last year.
But there was
So
never
the
no
spraying wouldn't be an issue.
Yes, it would. You took bids the past board took bids and they got nobody to spray.
Right.
And if we get this, we can maintain this thing ourselves. Hopefully, we've got to get somebody certified to do this because you have to have, this is considered commercial and you have to have somebody with get a commercial license. So one of the employees over there can do this and we can maintain that thing. Brian Wolver and Tracy Fletcher have been down there grubbing and cleaning and they've been doing a good job. They're getting this thing down to where it's going to be manageable. They're going to have to find a time to do brush piles. And as far as the money for this thing, we do have a truck that will go out on bid here, and I think that truck's going to be very desirable. There's another piece of equipment over there, a blade that we don't use no more. I don't know if Gary talked to you about it or not, but
I don't know if he's mentioned the blade, he mentioned
but
about the truck.
there is somebody that's interested in it. But I would, this just is something I think is needed if we're going to maintain the airport down there.
I got a question on that, on the failure of that one. If there was a fitting busted, I understand sometimes not seeing something, but if it lost that much coolant, you would have thought there'd have been some steam, or there would have been something to give somebody some kind of indication that they were having a problem.
He told me where that was spraying, is it wasn't spraying on the engine, and it was just going out.
But if it's getting hot, it had to be putting out heat. If it got that hot, there had to be some kind of heat coming from somewhere.
What model is this tractor, Mr. Ball? The one we had?
Oh,
It's getting close, 10 years.
it's at least 10-year-old.
Kubota, long, I don't even know what we're talking about, tractor.
It's a new Holland.
And a new 70 horse, what was it, 70 horse? Closed cab, 70 horse front end loader, what's that going on?
I don't have a cost on it, we haven't looked yet.
Well, I mean, that's why we're doing this, to put it out on bids.
My question is, can the county afford to buy a tractor this year that we didn't budget for? That's all I want to know.
Well, if it's a matter of budgeting for it next year, or going ahead and buying it now, yes, we would have the funds to buy it now, because we'll be in the same, pretty much in the same financial condition now as we will be 6 months from now.
Which is what?
Well, we'd have sufficient funds to make.
Do you recommend buying?
To
Let's
keep
put it
doing-
this way.
To keep doing our maintenance work that's done with this, yes.
And the old one can't be fixed.
Well, it's not that it can't be fixed, but it's gonna be a major repair.
And there is something else going on with it too. It's, I checked the oil in it today, and it's making oil.
It says fuel pumps.
It's put fuel.
Well, that ought to be a money maker as high as making money, making a lot, that ought to help out a lot.
I make a motion we solicit bids,
I'm fine.
see what it comes back, and then we can make a determination at that point in time. It don't cost us nothing.
With that being said, the truck that we can't use, that you're talking about using, do we need to sell this truck?
It'll be put on gut deals.
Roger, if it's not running, how's it making oil if it ain't running and you check the oil today?
We're still plugging along with it.
So it's still operating now?
Well, it's operating on about 3 out of 4 cylinders.
Can we get a cost estimate on repairing it too, along with putting out the
Yeah,
bid?
well, we can do that. A lot of that will be determined as they tear down into the engine. They won't know what all is damaged until they get inside of it.
Compression takes will tell you that. Most of the time. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to go ahead and put up the bid with these, all this.
Yeah, with them specs, I mean, it don't cost us nothing to get a bid. We don't like what we get, we come back up front.
Well, you have to get bids if you're gonna buy one anyway.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, airport capital improvement plan.
I included a copy in there. The airport authority met last week. I had them, had provided it to them back in January, to provide input. The only recommendation that they made to make a change is in the fiscal year 2025, 2026, and the following year. We have in the plan, that doesn't mean that this will be done. We had in the plan to consider construction of a box hangar. The only thing that they ask is that we change that from a box hangar to a combination box hangar and T hangar. Basically, a portion of it would be a larger hangar area that would hold 3 or 4 planes, could be used for maintenance, things like that, and then the rest of it have maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 T hangars on the end of it that could be rented out. They are starting to, they're building a little bit of a wait list. They've got 2 or 3 on the wait list now looking for hangar space. And that's local expense anyway. There's no state or federal money involved in that one. And again, this is just a planning tool. It does not mean that that will come to pass, but that was their only recommended change to the plan. They recommend that it be submitted as is with that change. And I just need a concurrence from the board so that we can submit this. And it's a planning tool for the state. Again, you know, it may not, all this may not come to pass, but it is a planning tool for them in trying to arrange their funding as well.
You just need a motion to approve the capital improvement plan?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next we got the White Rocks Community Center funding request.
You have a letter in your packet from the center requesting an appropriation of $5,000 to assist with their operating expenses. The board had in past years has provided donations in varying amounts to this group, as well as the Stickleyville Community Center group and the Keokee Alumni Association. This past year, they decided those amounts were never budgeted. They just came out of miscellaneous. In the current year that we're in, the board decided to include an appropriation of $7,500 that was to be split equally between these 3 organizations and those payments were all paid out in August of 2023. So any additional donations at this time would require, either they'd have to come out of miscellaneous or require a supplement to the budget.
So the three centers that was the three you said that was split between Stickleyville, Roseville, and
Keokee, yeah.
There's been nothing else appropriated to the other two.
No.
Do you know what they need it for?
His letter basically just said, we're getting back with the activities and attendance. We were having insurance for the year, will be due soon. We have utility bills due each month, so that's the only detail he provided.
It's the same with all three community centers.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do some adult classes there, GED classes maybe. They wasn't advanced. Anyway, we just table it, maybe he can come up and tell us what's going on there. It's Wade, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah. I can contact
The
him.
way everybody's gonna know, I don't know the detail. And I live there. What's in that? So, I'd like to find out the details on it, because I think it's only fair to the other two. If we're gonna do it for one, you need to do it for the other two.
That's what they've done in the past.
Exactly.
You want to make a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table it and invite Mr.
Got a
Wilson.
motion, I'll second. Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, solid waste loading and hauling bill.
And I would like to take that up in closed session as well.
Okay. Okay, next we got reports and recommendations from the county attorney.
I don't have any reports.
Reports and recommendations of the county administrator.
I do. First item, some of this is just information. Advertisement for pool employees has gone out. I think they're due April, the deadline for those is April the 11th. In past years, the board has left the hiring on that to the supervisor from District 1, since that's the area that the pool serves. So it's your all's choice on how you want to handle that. We also have an advertisement out for the Jasper Convenience Center site worker. He's notified us he'll keep working as long as he can, but he's not physically able to do that much at this point. So we are looking for a new applicant there. There's no deadline cutoff on the applications for that one. I just advertised it as open until filled. So we got one in today. That's the only one we've had so far, but it's a new ad. Also, applications for the Deputy Animal Control Officer. That deadline has passed. We have copies of those here tonight to distribute to you. I also have copies for each of the Economic Development Director applications received to date. So I'll get those in your hands before the meeting ends. Another item of information, I meant to bring this to you last month and it slipped my mind. I've been talking with the school superintendent. He's been keeping me apprised. Their average daily membership is running above what they had budgeted for this year. Typically, they'll see some higher numbers early in the year and see that decline. Mr. Tidwell's fully aware of that. The numbers are holding pretty good at this point. The March 31st average daily membership is the trigger point that determines what your membership and your budget calculation is based on for the year, and that will determine the final local required effort. As of right now, if they hold the membership that they've had recently, it could result in an increase in the required local effort. As much as, I asked him to give me a ballpark figure, he said it could be as high as $165,000 additional. So that's down the road a little, and we won't know that for another couple of months, but just want to make you aware of it. The other item I have is a request from the town of Pennington Gap to consider a joint meeting with this board, just to discuss projects and things that are going on. That would be a recessed meeting. They've asked that we provide some potential dates and times that you might want to meet, and they work to try to accommodate you on that. And be thinking about that between now and the end of the meeting. This other one, I haven't gotten a request yet from Mountain Empire older citizens, but I did get a flyer on the annual walkathon that's upcoming. That'll be on May the 5th at Bullock Park and the Green Belt there in Big Stone Gap. But the reason I'm going ahead and bringing it to you is that our meeting in April will be April the 16th, I believe. Typically, NEOC makes a request of the counties that support NEOC to serve as sponsors for the walkathon, which is an annual contribution. I'm sitting here wanting to say $5,000. I don't. Does that sound right to you?
It does.
It may not be that. I need to double check that before we close the meeting. I can run to the office and check that right quick, because that sounds high to me. I think it's no. I don't think it's that high. But anyway, I want to get it in front of you tonight, because if they wait very long to get the request in, if we push to the April meeting, this is going to be 3 weeks later, and the sponsorship determines where and how the t-shirts are designed that they provide to all the participants in it. But keep that in mind, and when we go to closed session, I'll get an exact dollar amount for you to think about. I'm just trying to get ahead of it. And other than the request for closed session that I've already made, that's all I have.
Okay, next we got reports and recommendations of the board.
Anyway, we can get a joint meeting with the school board when that issue comes up. If the board would agree to a joint meeting with them, I think it's a good thing. In my opinion, it's helped in the past.
Yeah, we can. I'll talk to the superintendent about when they would want to look at that.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
What
Sorry.
about you, Rod?
Mr. Poe, I think about 2 weeks ago, we had a loss of electricity in the Gilkey area, and the backup generator did not kick in to facilitate the electricity for the tower for emergency services.
Okay.
Has that issue been
Well,
rectified?
we'll check on that. It's probably a battery issue,
Okay.
so I'll get that checked. Try to get it checked for the end of the week.
Okay.
Oh, yes, one thing, I'm sorry, can I back up?
See, you got anything in?
I'm done, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I went brain dead, I'm sorry. Have we decided to make any plans to do anything with those recycling buildings? Has anything moved forward?
We'll list them on Gov Deals. I need to put a master list together.
Okay,
And
well-
list everything.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. I would suggest I know Gary ain't gonna like this, I suggest we pull 2 guys off of his crew this week, move these buildings, take them up to Lee Auction Company's auction. I've talked to Jim, and he said we could bring them up. I mean, I ain't trying to jump ahead of you.
No, I don't
But
care
he
how
said
or
we
something.
could bring them up there. The auction is the first weekend in April, which is probably, anyway, and he said we could bring them, he would run them through the auction. The ones that didn't sell, they could stay there till his next auction in the fall. That way, we are not obligated to be loading them on people's vehicles or anything. I think it's just take them up there and because I think there ain't nobody gonna come from a long ways off to pick up one of these things, I don't think. But he said that could sit there till we, and if he said he would like them up there as quick as possible to where he can get pictures of them and get them listed. And we do deal with him, he is the auctioneer for the county when you run stuff, you know, on the courthouse steps.
Can
I
they
think.
be picked up there? If they're put on good deals, can they be picked up there?
Well, we might have to load them, I don't know, unless they brought rollbacks.
We'd have to advertise them as, they'd have to manage loading, we wouldn't assist with loading.
Right, but I mean, but they'd be okay to pick them up there at that side if they moved them up there.
Oh, you mean if part of the sale and some of them are left, we could go ahead and list them?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wouldn't really put them on government deals if we're gonna obligate.
We wouldn't have
Really?
access to the lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't obligate Jim's, business up there and sell them through something else.
Well, if they don't sell, I mean, you ain't accomplished anything. They're just gonna sit there on the lot, they're not gonna sell next.
Well, we've got 2 chances to sell them, now and this fall, at his fall auction.
Yeah. I mean, as long as we ain't hauling back and forth, then, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with it. What about you?
Did you make a motion?
Well, I just had the idea. Well, I would, okay, make the motion that we take.
I'll second. Let Mr. Crabtree dispose of it.
Okay, got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything
I'm
else?
done for,
Mr. Poe, are the courts open on Good Friday?
Yes. I don't know what the dockets are. Typically, there's not much in the general district. There's no court on Fridays most of the time for general district or J&DR. Now, I know they had court last Friday. General district had some cases last Friday. I saw them in the room. Circuit court, don't know what their docket is.
Well, the reason I ask, it kind of gets back to that insurance coverage and stuff, you know. We can't afford to pay more on their insurance. You know, I would certainly be open to, you know, letting our employees off on Good Friday. But I don't want to cause no uproar, you know, with the courts or anything.
The courts run on Supreme Court dictate, so I don't know what they're doing this year.
Okay. What about you, Ho?
She said there was no court scheduled Monday.
No, what I was just echoing what Dane said, the courts run on the Supreme Court schedule. So there's typically not much of anything scheduled on Fridays, but they run on their calendar schedule, or their holiday schedule.
could we take this up in closed session?
Well, I don't know why we need to. We're the
I've
party
got
or not.
my comment might offend somebody. Listen, I think it is great. I think it needs to be done. It's a Christian holiday. I think it needs to be done. The governments don't do it. The private sector does. But the thing about it is, and I hate to be a spoil sport, but what if a Muslim comes along and wants us to declare Muhammad's birthday? Hey, that's all.
Well, we're not specifying it just because we're just saying it's Good Friday and there's not much going on. That's basically what I'm saying. I didn't specify it either.
I'm off that day, I'll support you there if you want to do it. And all you need is a consensus, he can get it done after they figure out what's going on with COVID. You don't need a vote, I don't think. Maybe you do.
I prefer them because it's not part of the county policy. It's not a scheduled holiday.
I'd make a motion.
For the year, for 2024, I'll put that in there, because you're not changing policy, you're just.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's just a single.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, appreciate it. That's all I got. Now we just need to, well, I'm going to the closed session. I probably didn't either.
It's in your packet. I mean, it's
Oh, it's in
It's
the,
in-
okay, no, I didn't get that one out.
Oh.
Yeah. Just tell me what all y'all want to go ahead.
Contracts. Gotta look at my agenda right quick. I'll cover all of them. Yeah, contracts, I must cover it all.
I think pending litigation.
Yeah, I suppose you may want to add legal to it.
Oh,
There may be some legal counsel involved.
share contracts and pending litigation.
Is that a motion?
Hang on just a minute, where's that at? Is that, some consultation with the legal counsel?
I think he's gonna make a motion.
Is that all we gotta go in for? No contracts and legal counsel?
I got some updates on the other thing that I've been working on. Can you get that talking about?
That'd probably be legal.
They gonna be legal with it.
Okay. What about, okay, investing in public funds contracts, that covers that. Okay, motion to go into closed session under investing in public funds 2.2-371186 and consultation with legal counsel 2.2-371187. Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?